Hi, I'm Neville Marten,
I'm Richard Barrett.
and today we're looking at two rather nice Taylor acoustics. I've got the 417E.
And I have the 412 CE, and there's an R suffix, which I guess is the rosewood
Is the
part of the
rosewood,
name.
yeah. So these are Taylor's been experimenting with some new timbers of late, different kind of more sustainable things. But you know, the rosewood spruce top, mahogany neck thing is such a staple, isn't it, of guitars?
I mean, I guess it's quite nice to balance things out. So yes, we do the more sustainable thing, but we also still make what we got: Indian rosewood,
Yeah, Indian rosewood, Sitka spruce top,
mahogany neck,
ebony fingerboard.
board.
Of course, Taylor has they work with the ebony producers from Africa, and make it sustainable, and they have a very fair trade way of working, which is brilliant.
Yes, indeed.
And they've got the Expression 2 system, which is great, just simple.
Yeah.
And we are plugged in as well as being mic'd up here, so the sound you're hearing is a bit of both.
Yes. And I personally really like that simple system. And to me, it says something about the ethos of the guitar as a whole. These are guitars for playing, for taking on tour and playing, or you know, play them at home.
Yeah, they are. They're
professional.
proper end. These are core series Taylors. They're not the cheaper ones that they do, and they're not like the presentation ones or the Mega Koa series.
A bit more kind of boutique-y.
Yeah, they're kind of, they sit in that level with certain other brands that we all know.
Yeah.
And, but they're lovely. They've both got Andy Powers V-Class bracing.
Yes.
Which gives them a really natural tone, doesn't it?
I really like it, and I read that apparently the mid-range is slightly attenuated with that, and I thought, well, that's perfect for a smaller body guitar.
Yeah.
Because we were saying earlier, weren't we, that smaller bodies can tend to be...
That middle, you need in a small body, especially for fingerstyle, you want that middly protection.
Yeah.
But if you want it to be a bit more all-round, you don't really want that so much.
And certainly what I'm getting from this is that you can...
Same here, exactly.
And you can hear the different sort of frequency responses, can't you? I'm liking that, especially sat here. Because it is a bigger body and without the cutaway as well, so that's more sort of thumping.
Yeah, it's very easy to say that a small body guitar does that, a large body guitar does that. And yes, they do to an extent, a little bit.
Yes.
But most guitars will do everything.
Yeah.
It's just some do certain things just that tiny bit.
It's easier to coax something out of a certain guitar. I agree. I think it's important not to be too kind of, oh, that's no good. I'll need a different guitar.
We got two different sizes here. I've got the Grand Pacific, which is a relatively newish Taylor design. It's sort of dreadnought-ish.
Yeah, I love the round shoulders.
Yeah.
And I love the finishes.
Yeah. And yours
love
is
that sunburst.
A smaller concert, isn't it? Concert.
Yes, that's right. It's the
with
concert
cutaway.
size. Yeah.
Yeah, the sunburst looks so good on these guitars. It really is a great... That tobacco sunburst look is so nice, and very simple tortoiseshell pick guard, ebony bridge, ebony board. I think it's an ebony overlay on the headstock.
Yes, and the tusk nuts.
Tusk nuts, and you can adjust the Expression system, but Taylor don't really recommend you do. And if you want it adjusted for whatever reason, which I've never had to do that.
I'd be inclined to leave well alone, really.
And if you go to a Taylor dealer who's got somebody on site who can do it.
Yes. Yeah.
What else? Lovely inlay, very simple inlay around the sound hole, the purfling rosette.
Now, were you saying earlier, Nev, about the neck joints? That was interesting. These are not traditionally glued.
These are bolted. They're bolted. In fact,
they don't look like bolt-on, do they? But
no, they don't. It's part of the reason that Taylor put the strap button there.
Oh yes, yeah.
Because on some older guitars, people will often put it up in the bottom of the thing, but you can't because the bolt goes through, and the screw would go into the bolt. But it turns out that's the perfect place for it.
I agree. I think it hooks around really well.
And many other manufacturers are putting theirs there now as well. Lovely straight-grained, close-grained Sitka spruce on these.
Yeah.
Really nice. As usual, there's a join here and a scarf join here, but they're so well done that you can hardly notice that they're there.
And I just think that they're a good thing because they're so much stronger, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. On a traditional, especially on a mahogany neck, which is quite vulnerable there, if you've got the pitch neck like that, the grain's going straight through the weakest area, especially with the truss rod cutting out a bit as well.
Yeah.
But this, it means the grain of the headstock's going that way, and so the neck's going that way, the headstock's going that way. It's much stronger.
I mean, it just strikes me that these are designed for people that you can hang them on the wall and look at them, can't you? Because they're beautiful. Yeah. But everything, and the sort of the end pin jack and the battery compartment, everything about it has been thought about so that they're ready to use on stage with a minimum of fuss.
It's that word ergonomic, isn't it?
Yeah.
They just work for the gigging guitarist. But as Richard says, you could quite happily sit there and it could be your sofa guitar forever.
Yeah, especially this little body one, that'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a great, because is it slightly narrower, slightly thinner? They don't look much different actually. It might be a tiny bit.
It's more the sort of outline, I think, of the.
But that's in more throw around on stage than this. Yeah. Although I have to say, I do love
that
a big.
That kind of shape always catches my eye personally as well, especially in that finish.
Yeah. Yeah. But the other thing I like about the Taylor is people often don't notice it, but if you look at the headstock shape, and you look at the pickguard shape and the bridge shape, they're all related.
Yes.
In that kind of scoopy, sharp-cornered.
Yeah, sort of sweepy lines.
Sweepy, sharp end, and then it's really attractive. People often don't notice that. Taylor tuners which look like they're shallow, but
I think they are. I think I read that they are shallow, but they're branded Taylor. So they're obviously good tuners.
Yeah, but they're really nice. I mean, use a pick. They sound great with it. They're also nice for picking for fingerstyle as well, and playing lead on. Should we do a bit where you play a bit of lead and?
I'll give it a go.
What should we do?
You had those nice chords that I haven't yet successfully played over, but we could see if on camera that'll push me the rest of the way.
Negotiate them. Okay, here we go.
Just a couple of tries later, and I managed to get something happening over the chords. And Nev, I think you can probably attest to the fact that these play well because you had a bit of a handful going on there.
Well, it was all those bar chords, and my hands aren't the strongest hands, and they're getting on a bit now, and it shows that these are comfortable guitars to play because I was.
Yeah.
Carrying on, and they're lovely in the open position as well.
But they managed to do it without feeling flimsy.
Yeah.
Because I suppose we've all played acoustic guitars that someone's mate has set up, and it plays like an electric, but it rattles and buzzes and.
Exactly. No, you don't want that. It's always a compromise on an acoustic because you don't want that. You don't want rattles on it.
The string height really, really matters, doesn't it? Well, I think it does on electric as well, to be honest. But certainly acoustic, there's no escaping that.
But on an acoustic, if it's rattling away, it's stuck the old distortion on an electric and
that's true.
Lose it.
But John Renbourn wouldn't have done that.
No, that's true. But the other thing that we were mentioning aside about these is that Taylor's moved itself into a slightly different place now, hasn't it, with the Andy Powers' rejigging of the bracing system and everything.
Yeah, I think it was pretty astute because I mean they've always been great. I remember being in a shop full of acoustic guitars and playing the Taylors in a row and then being so consistently good.
Yeah.
You just think these guys have absolutely nailed it. But
Yeah.
I suppose when you're a company like that, you're always looking for ways to improve your market share or what have you. And
Yeah, I think that they move on. I mean, Andy, since he took over, has got a certain vision about what he wants Taylor to be and how he wants them to sound. And I think gradually they're going through the whole range and bringing in new models that have got a different style of voice. And we really like that voice, don't we?
Oh yeah, very much. And the finishes, which are sort of vintagey.
Yeah, they are. They're more, perhaps a little bit more traditional looking than Taylor's may have been.
Yes, I know what you mean.
Years ago.
I mean, I thought I liked that about them when they came out. You know, there were clean lines and everything. But I've got to say that I like this too. Maybe
they were one of the first, possibly the first American high-end brand that looked great with a cutaway and worked great on stage as stage guitars.
Yeah. Well, and you'd see them in everybody's hands. I mean, that's just testament to.
Yeah, you would. But they've always been immaculately built. You know, when we review guitars like this, you know, we give them a build quality rating, and you can never find anything wrong with a Taylor. They're immaculately built, and these are no different there. I mean, they're not cheap. They're kind of UK prices, kind of $3,500.
Yes,
around that
in their case.
I mean, you might find that they're streeting a bit less than that, but they've got lovely cases, and they're really nice
very
cases.
plush, actually.
In fact, the case for this is kind of brown paisley, almost like faux paisley leather. It's really lovely.
And they fit the guitars beautifully.
Yeah.
They're obviously made to measure.
They are. They're great guitars. There's very little more that we can say about them than that. It's just that they're very enjoyable guitars to look at, to play, and to hear.
They've got the Taylor consistency and a vintage look, and something of a kind of a more traditional sound, I suppose, if you like. I don't know. Is that
traditional
the right
sound?
way to put it?
Yeah, but with a voice of its own slightly.
Yeah.
They don't really sound just like other brands, but they sound a little less like Taylor used to be. If we
Right,
can
I
put it that
suppose
way.
they moved more to the centre of the field.
Yeah, I think so. Well, we're going to play another little piece to play you out, and hope you've enjoyed this little demo, and hopefully Richard and I will see you next time. Take care.
Time.